Have you heard that 600 units of vitamin D per day are enough for everyone? And that's it? I am EDU Rodriguez, a pharmacist, biochemist, and health educator here on the EDU Health Tips channel, and I need to talk to you calmly about this subject because it impacts much more in your body than most people imagine. Many people follow this recommendation for years, continue to feel tired, have body aches, low immunity, mood swings, and difficulty concentrating, without ever suspecting that the root of the problem may be insufficient levels of this essential vitamin. Vitamin D is known as a vitamin, but in practice, it behaves like a hormone. It participates in bone health, of course, but it also directly influences the immune system, muscle strength, brain function, memory, focus, emotional balance, metabolism, and even inflammatory processes linked to chronic diseases. When it is deficient for a long time, the body enters a state of silent fragility. And the most dangerous part is that this usually does not cause glaring symptoms right at the beginning. It gradually sets in. A little more fatigue, more joint pain, frequent infections, lack of energy, unexplained sadness. All of this ends up being attributed to age, stress, or a busy routine. For a long time, official recommendations for daily intake have been based on population averages and studies primarily focused on bone health. This is important, but it does not tell the whole story. Different people absorb vitamin D differently. Sun exposure varies greatly depending on the region, the season, skin type, sunscreen use, and lifestyle. Additionally, conditions such as obesity, chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and certain diseases may cause the body to require higher levels to function well. Today, when we analyze more recent research, it becomes clear that a huge portion of the world's population has a deficiency or insufficiency of vitamin D. Adults, the elderly, and even children. We increasingly live in enclosed environments, spending the day in offices, indoors, in cars, avoiding the sun for fear of skin cancer, which is understandable. But at the same time, we fail to stimulate one of the main natural sources of this vitamin. Our bodies are designed to produce vitamin D from sunlight. When ultraviolet rays hit the skin, they transform a substance derived from cholesterol into vitamin D, which then enters the circulation and goes through stages until it becomes active within the cells. One point that almost no one explains correctly is that the blood test measures the circulating form of vitamin D, but this does not perfectly show how much the cells are actually using. There are people who have values considered acceptable and still experience symptoms of deficiency. Others need higher levels to feel real improvement. That's why I emphasize the importance of individualization. There is no magic number that works for everyone. Each body responds in its own way. At the same time, many people have an exaggerated fear of toxicity. They hear stories on the internet and become terrified at the idea of supplementing. The truth is that vitamin D toxicity is rare and usually occurs only when someone takes very high doses for long periods without medical supervision. The main risk is excessive calcium in the blood, which can cause kidney problems and other symptoms. But this is something that can be monitored with simple tests. There are also strategies that help reduce this risk, such as maintaining good hydration and ensuring adequate intake of magnesium and vitamin K, which are involved in calcium metabolism in the body. Here on the EDU Health Tips channel, I always emphasize one thing. Quality information serves to empower, not to encourage self-medication. Before starting to take supplements on your own, it's best to talk to your doctor or trusted health professional, request a blood dosage, and discuss the best strategy for your case. For some people, safely increasing sun exposure helps a lot. For others, especially in winter or those who hardly get any sun, guided supplementation makes all the difference. It is also important to understand that vitamin D does not work alone. To function properly within the cells, it depends on other nutrients. Magnesium, for example, is essential for activating vitamin D in the body. Many people are magnesium deficient without knowing it, which can hinder the entire process. Vitamin K is also important for directing calcium to the bones and preventing it from depositing where it shouldn't. That's why a comprehensive approach often yields much better results than looking at just a single isolated nutrient. If you experience frequent muscle pain, weakness, fatigue that doesn't improve with rest, repeated infections, mood swings, difficulty concentrating, or if your immunity is low, it is very worthwhile to investigate your vitamin D levels. Not to create panic, but to take preventive care of your body. The sooner we correct deficiencies, the lower the chances of more serious problems down the line. And let me ask you something now, taking advantage of the fact that you are here with me until this point in the video. Have you ever measured your vitamin D in your life? Comment down below yes or no, because I read the comments and really like to understand what you have already investigated about your own health. If you find this type of content useful, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a like. This helps a lot for EDU Health tips to reach more people who need this information. Also, share this video with someone in your family or with that friend who always complains about fatigue and body pain. Sometimes, a simple conversation opens the door to a diagnosis that completely changes the person's quality of life. I always say that taking care of your health is not about waiting for illness to appear. It's about paying attention to the signs of the body and acting early. Vitamin D is just one piece of this puzzle, but it's a huge piece. When it is in balance, the whole body benefits. Stronger bones, better functioning muscles, stronger immunity, sharper brain, more stable mood, less inflammation circulating in the body. If you want to continue learning about how to protect your health in a practical and science-based way, stay with me here on the channel. There are several other videos on the screen now that can help you better understand your body and make smarter choices in your daily life. I'll be signing off here. Take care, stay with God, and a big hug.